I would like to thank Mr. Romero especially, but just the whole staff too. They stayed with us kind of through thick and thin, and they've been super supportive, and we've had some rough practices, but they pushed us through them, and we became a better band because of it. I'd like to thank my parents. They have put in so much work and support for my sister and I throughout the entire 4 years. And I'd like to thank my section for just being a really great section, both last year and this year. Yeah, it was really fun being the section leader.
I would like to thank, Mr. Romero, I think, for making these 3 years just really amazing and really pushing this band and me and just everyone to really try our hardest and show us what we can be, and how much reward we get for working this hard. I'd like to thank my sister for, these 4 years in high school, for just, we've gotten a lot closer and just really working together these past years on being section leader. And I love you, sis, and no matter where we go to college, we'll always be twin sisters, so I'll always love you. To my parents, Mom and Dad, thank you for supporting me so much these past 4 years and just being super involved and just really caring about what I do and what this band does and what I love doing, and I really appreciate all of it. I love you guys.
Mr. Romero has definitely been an improvement to this band, and without him we would not be where we are now. He's inspired us and taught us things that we've needed to know, not just in marching band, but in all of life. If I was to thank anyone, I'd want to thank the Guard, because I know that I can go to them with anything that I need, and that they're always there for me, and I'm going to miss them when I leave.
This year was fantastic. It was it wasn't easy, but it was super smooth, and everything was fun, and I don't think we had a lot of drama or anything. The thing that I'll miss the most about band is definitely the people, for sure. This family is really hard to leave because I've been with these people for 4 years, and they're all my friends.
Mr. Romero, he's helped me out a lot. Faith Richardson in my section, because she's helped me out a lot. And then Danny Avila, he's in the pit, and he's helped me a lot since I've actually moved here. He was my first friend here, so I wanted to thank him for that too.
I'd like to thank Jared Smurdell, the other senior saxophone player with me, and Sawyer Johnson, the sophomore alto sax. He really made running the section a little bit easier, and their efforts together, and really the saxophones in general got me through the year in some ways, and they were all really great. But Jared, we're seniors, we're going into it. He's probably my closest friend in the band. Jack Hayward, the low brass section leader, great kid. Always made me feel a little bit better whenever things were kind of tough. Brandon Wilson, the other senior, kind of all the seniors, really. I think we all stuck it out together. I'll definitely miss the friends I've made and I guess the commitment of it. I think it definitely made me a stronger person overall, and it made me, I feel like I understand myself and I understand others better now that I've done it.
I'd like to thank my parents, because they always gave me food when I got home. And that probably really helped a lot, because I remembered times coming home from band where I'd just be starving, and I'd come home I don't know, sort of almost loopy out of hunger. My parents would be like, "Hey, have some food," and I'd be, "Oh, thank you," and it made me better, and it kept me focused, so I could do some of my homework or be productive outside of band too. And I'd just like to thank the whole band as well, too, because it's just such a positive environment most of the time that I feel like when something difficult happens, we all sort of overcome it as a group. And I feel like that's a strong bonding experience in general.
I think the number one thank you needs to go to the band moms, because we'd be hungry, probably half the time, not have our podium, and half the things that go on in band probably wouldn't happen without the band moms. But besides that, I would want to thank Bree, because she's a great drum major, and I think sometimes she doubts herself, and she's totally amazing.
I would like to thank Maya and Izzy Romero, because they were the people who really welcomed me into this program, and they've become my best friends over the years. And I'd like to thank of course, my parents for paying for this and for coming to all my things and being so very supportive. And Mr. Romero, of course, for being the best band director in the state.
I would like to thank my parents for being supportive and just being there when I was stressed out. And I would also thank the kids in my section for being amazing. Even though they stressed me out sometimes, they were really cool. And I was glad to be in a section with them.
I'd like to thank all of Low Brass because they kept me up. They made me happy in my saddest moments. I'd like to thank Garrett as well because he's a goober and he made me smile all the time. And especially my mom for putting up with having to get me at 8 o'clock and then going to McDonald's every single night.
I would like to thank both of my parents for supporting me through this. It's been 4 years of just like me getting home late to dinner from rehearsals and like having to work around my schedule so I could do band. So I'm really thankful for that. So thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. And I'd like to thank everyone in the band because they really, I don't know, I love this group.
I'd like to thank Mr. Romero for all the hard work he does, my mom and dad for all the time and money and pushing pit stuff that they move, pushing pit things. Seniors like Hanalei and Katie who are still pursuing band and still influence me to be a better musician. Yeah. Oh, and I'd like to thank all the people that push the pit. Thank you so much. You're all a great help.
I would like to thank my mom for pushing me through band because I remember my freshman year for band camp going there and I was just super stressed out because marching is hard. And I remember crying every day before I had to go to band camp because I did not like it. And my mom told me every day that I was not going to quit, and it ended up being the best thing for me.
I'd like to thank my brother Alexander and then Cord and Griffin. They were both really big influences on me. And then also all the other seniors who have been with me since freshman year. And my mom and dad for helping out at all the things. My mom for doing all of these uniforms.
The person that really helped me out a lot was a guy named Dan Brinzik. He texts with us now, but back in my freshman year when I was super scared and little and it was a really daunting experience, he always made the time to help me and make sure that I was able to do everything that I should have been able to do. And without his help, I wouldn't have been able to stay up with things. I wouldn't have been able to have the same friend group because he introduced me to a lot of people because I was too scared to introduce myself. And then just as soon as Romero came in, it was a different band. He brought a different kind of vibe that really helped this band grow. I mean, over these past 3 years alone, we've grown immensely. We've broken 70 this year, and we've just had a really great run because of that as well.
I would definitely like to thank all of the kids in the band because I could have all these great ideas and it wouldn't matter if they were not able to actually accomplish those things. So I think the kids are awesome here and I think they're the hardest working. So I definitely want to thank them for everything that they put into this program. And then I definitely also want to thank the parents here because I think we have the absolute best parents. I've been at schools where there was zero parent support. I've been at schools where there was a ton of parent support, but then the parents kind of wanted to have say in things and wanted to, kind of take over certain things where it wasn't quite, needed or appropriate. And I feel like we have a really nice balance here. We have really supportive parents, but they also trust the instructors and they trust that we know what we're doing, so they don't try to, take over anything. So, and without them, there's no way. I know it sounds, kind of, cheesy, but like without them, like we really could not do what we do here. Like there's no way I could take uniforms and get them cleaned and fit to the kids and, handle all the meals and transportation and everything that goes into this. So I appreciate that I'm able to actually just teach. And so I'm not, at least too much, I'm not too worried about everything else. I think this is the happiest I've been as a teacher. I taught, I think, 8 years before before I came here, and was actually very close to giving up teaching because of, the situations I was in at my old job. And, this was actually my last kind of like chance. And if I didn't get this job, I actually was not going to be teaching anymore. So I think I probably needed this school more than it needed me.